Florida property taxes. Did the state eliminate them? Or is this the most misleading headline we've seen all year? If you're a homeowner in Davie, or you're just trying to decide if now is a good time to buy, then you need to hear what happened in Tallahassee before you make any decisions. Because the headline and the reality are two different things, and I'm going to break it down for you. When something big comes out of Tallahassee and it affects homeowners in West Broward County, I feel like it's my job to help you determine what it is and not what makes the best headline. On February 19, 2026, the Florida House of Representatives passed the bill known as HJR 203. That stands for House Joint Resolution 203. The vote was 80-30, completely on party lines. Every Republican voted yes, every Democrat voted against. Now here's where the headlines get it wrong. This is not a law. The House did not eliminate your property taxes. What they did pass was a constitutional amendment to get this on the ballot in November 2026. What this means is that Florida voters would get to vote on it. Even if the voters said yes, which would require a 60% supermajority, by the way, it wouldn't be effective until January 1st, 2027. So we're talking about one step of a multi-step process. And there are several more steps that have to happen before a single dollar from your property tax bill changes. Now let's talk about what this proposal would actually do, because I think this is the part that's totally getting glossed over. First, it does not eliminate property taxes. It would eliminate non-school property taxes on homesteaded properties only. School taxes stay. Investment properties, rental homes, commercial real estate, none of those are affected. For example, if you own a rental property here in Davie, your tax bill won't change under this proposal. But if you're living in your primary residence and this bill does eventually pass, hopefully you'll see a meaningful reduction in your property taxes. Now, here's the other side of the coin. State economists project that this could take $14.8 billion annually out of local city and county budgets across Florida. This is the money that pays for the police, the fire department, the roads, the parks, your local services. The bill does require local governments to maintain public safety budgets at current levels, but that just means everything else gets squeezed. And we know this gap has to be filled, whether it's higher sales tax, higher fees, or reduced local services down the road. So while the headline says property taxes eliminated, it's more a reality of property taxes have shifted. We're just not sure where they're going to show up yet. Based on how it stands today, do you think this bill is going to get passed and we'll see it in the future? Let me know in the comments. And for this to get on the November ballot, the Florida Senate also has to pass this by a 3/5 majority. And right now, the Senate hasn't even advanced any comparable bill. The legislative session ends March 13th, and that's not a lot of runway from the date I'm recording this video. Senate Appropriations Chair Ed Hooper has already said his chamber's plan will be less generous than the House plan. Senate President Ben Alberton says that they're still evaluating proposals as they want to get it right. And here's something I think surprised a lot of people. Even Governor DeSantis, who was pushing the amendment to reduce property taxes over the last year and a half, has told the Senate to slow down. The morning of the vote, he posted on social media that it's better to do it right than to do it quick. And he did not endorse the House bill. So you've got the House going in one direction, the Senate dragging its feet, the governor being a bit vague, and a deadline coming of March 13th. Personally, I think the odds of this bill getting in front of voters by November in its current form is not high. Something can still happen. The Senate can introduce one bill, the chambers can negotiate something together, but Florida eliminated property taxes was not what happened, and we're nowhere near the outcome right now. So what does this actually mean for you right here in Davie? If you're a buyer, there's no reason to wait. The uncertainty around this bill is high, the timeline is long, and the best case scenario doesn't even kick in until January 2027. Davie homes are already selling fast. They move about 45% faster than other homes in Broward County, and they're selling at a premium. The reasons people move to Davie: equestrian community, great schools, the space, the sense of a real neighborhood feeling without the craziness of the coast, and those don't change based on what's happening in Tallahassee. And if you're a seller, this is actually a really good news story for your listing. The national conversation about Florida property tax relief already reinforces what buyers are thinking, that Florida is one of the most tax favorable states in the country to own a home. You don't need to promise home buyers that property taxes are going away. You just need to be in a market where the direction of tax policy is favorable to home ownership, and in Florida, specifically Davie, that's genuinely the case. And real quick, I want to take a second just to zoom out because I think that there's something happening that's bigger than legislative news. I grew up in Davie, spent 13 years working real estate in Miami, and I recently came back in 2025. And there really is something special here. And there's also a reason that homes are selling much faster in Davie than they are in other parts of Broward. And it's not because of a tax bill in Tallahassee. It's because the schools, the trails, the horse, the equestrian lifestyle, and when you drive down the street, you'll probably see somebody you end up knowing. Whatever happens with property taxes, and something eventually will, Davie is going to keep doing exactly what it is. A place where families actually want to put down roots. And they might even start collecting a few cowboy hats and boots to start. I'll be posting updates about this as it develops out of Tallahassee. The legislative session runs through March 13th, and the Senate's next move will tell us a lot about where it's going. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you found this helpful, if you walked away knowing or learning something that you didn't know previously, hit the like button. It generally helps this channel reach more homeowners and more buyers in our community. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Davie, I would love to have a conversation. Not a pitch, not a sales call, just a real conversation about what the market is doing right now and whether the timing makes sense for you. My name is Anthony Spitaleri with Living in Davie. My contact information is below. I appreciate you stopping by to watch this video, and I will see you on the next one.